On today's show, Sophie is told to become the influencer in her field. Be number one. Cassie is shown a unique gift where she can tell who people are and who they were in former lives. And finally, Alice is slammed for not allowing people to reciprocate her generosity. But we start the show talking about our free upcoming 3-day Dream Summit. That's May 17th to 19th, 2024. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody.
This is another half hour of us eavesdropping on the very personal communication between the spirit world and souls on their journey, because that's what you are, a soul on an earth journey here to learn about yourself. And that's why we focus on dreams, because if you want to know what you're meant to be doing in your life right now, at this very moment in time, then look no further than your dreams. Through analyzing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the superpowers that you have, or the superpowers that would make you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. But these bumps are not in the way, they are the way. Sandy, have we anything coming up?
Oh my goodness, I am so excited about what we've coming up. We've got so many amazing things. So this next Wednesday, which I believe is the 8th, we have workshop number 2, and this one's on relationships. And I don't know how Michael does it, but he's taking it into the woo. So you get some really good information on relationships from the spiritual perspective. And then the week after that, which we will remind all of you again, on the 15th, we have another workshop. And this one is on dreams that you really don't want to have. And it's a main focus on health, but there's a lot of other dreams that you don't want to have, like nightmares. But we may or may not cover that because we got this huge event coming up on the weekend of the 17th through the 19th of May. Yes, May, just a couple weeks away. And we are going to do a full thing on dreams, but from a very spiritual perspective. So we're stepping more into the woo on this one. So, Michael, is there more to add? I think I covered it well, but I know you got more.
Absolutely. So the primary focus in anything we do is always on dreams. We all dream, and most people puzzle over their meaning. So it's a topic that is well received. Even skeptics of dream interpretation listen in because they dream too. Well, I've studied and practiced dream interpretation for 33 years and accidentally along the way became an expert in the subject. That was never my goal. It was just a highly motivated field of focus. And my motivation came from suddenly being able to see spirits. And that happened to me when I was 25. I was an atheist at the time, and then 5 minutes later, I was not. I consider myself really lucky though. Work in the spiritual field often requires a lot of faith. And I never needed that because I was looking at spirits and auras and chakras. No faith required. Instead of faith, I was desiring understanding. I couldn't actually talk to spirits for years. So I went on a journey of exploration. I did every course I could afford and read every book as it came out. This is pre-internet, of course. I did 2 channeling courses. Neither got me channeling or anyone else on the course either. But I did learn a lot and I loved those courses. In the meantime, I practiced tuning into energy and got really good at that. And even though I couldn't channel, I could then tell if somebody else was. And I thought, what a strange ability. Why would I ever need that? Boy, do I use that today. And then I attended a dream interpretation course. And I'd attended one before and it was useless. And I didn't even want to go to this one. But my sister dragged me there and it was amazing. I had hit the mother lode. I realized that your dreams hold all your answers and the message is not generic. Their message has you at the center of the universe. And they explain why you are here, what your obligations are, what your gifts are, how you are to use them, and how you are meant to grow. My study of dreams has opened my mind to so many things. Some dreams show a glimpse of the planning state before coming here. Others show what you do in the spirit world when you're not here. And they show what your expertise area is there. And there is always a correlation to the gifts that you use here to help others. Earth is a school where we come to learn about ourselves. Everyone, regardless of level, is here to grow too. And everyone brings at least one gift. And it is intended, well, not just intended, you signed a contract committing to use your gifts to repay your karmic debts. These are debts you feel you owe others. And you ask the spirit world for an opportunity to repay those debts And so it got worked into your life plan and their life plan, so you would develop and use your gift to help them in their time of need. And it is because your action is so vital to their life plan that you willingly sign. You're asked to sign and you willingly sign. But then we get here and we lose our way. But dreams point us back to our path. They are the last bastion, an unbreakable connection between you and the spirit world. And that's what we do all the time on this show. But we don't often go into the woo, like the planning stage, what's behind it all, why do we even come here in the first place? But we're going to add that dimension to it this time around. We have 2 events now. We have our event in October, which we've run for 3 years, and that's very well received. And this one is going to be different topics, or even the same topics, but covered from a slightly different angle. So it'll be very different, but we're definitely bringing the woo to this one. So if you have questions about the spirit world or how things work, and we have an answer and you ask the question, we will give you the answer. If we don't, we'll just tell you we don't. But it's really from years and years of looking at dreams and analyzing them and understanding the context behind why somebody would be asked to do something in their dream, that I've built up a really good knowledge of things that are, let's say, not earth plane based. But everything that we do here is ultimately based from a spiritual perspective. We plan our lives from a spiritual perspective as a spirit, and then we come here, and then in our physical life, we typically look at things and go, how can I explain everything? But we say, how can I explain it from my physical life perspective? And we can't. We have to look at the whole picture, what your life is about from the spiritual sense, where it was planned, where your higher self was sitting at the table saying, here's what I need to do, and agreeing to the parts. All before you ever even existed, the plan was put in place. And then you come here and then you try to understand it from your perspective, and it's too limited. And our dreams, thankfully, show us the full picture. With you at the center of the universe, you're the most important person on the planet. I love that our dreams say that to us all the time. And they tell us what we need to do, what our gifts are, and how we're meant to help others, and how we're meant to help ourselves, and what we're meant to do to grow. And that's really the theme of the weekend. Well, we break it up into many things. We talk about career, we talk about relationships, we talk about prophecy. I don't think we did prophecy in our October one, Sandy.
No, we did not. Not really covering it well.
But we will be doing it this time, and other subjects as well, like Sandy alluded to, like nightmares, kids' dreams, things that we generally skip over. And you can thank Sandy and Holly and April for that. They're really pushing that agenda. But it'll be a lot of fun. I'm still writing it. The ink will be wet when we're presenting to you. But the way to get your ticket to it is to go to dream-analysis.com/free. And it is a free event, but we want to keep the places for people who really want to go. So we look for a refundable deposit of $97. Now you get it back. There's no questions asked. Just attend. You're going to get it back. And you don't even have to attend the whole thing. Just show up at all and you'll get the $97 back. But that is really to hold the spaces, because we don't have a lot of spaces. I mean, there'll be a few hundred people there, hopefully, but you will be glad. I've run events where there's been no charge at the door, and they're not really good. They're good. You can have a great agenda and great focus on what you want to cover, but there will be people there to disrupt. And this also keeps the disruptors out. So anything you want to add to it, Sandy?
Yeah, and we're recording the event, which we will make available. So say you miss a day because you have to work, or poor people in Australia, it's a terrible time, or even people in Europe, because we're stuck on the West Coast here of the US. So the time frames may not work that well for you. So we're making recordings that you can listen to for free for 48 hours, I believe, Michael. And then after that, it will be $97 to keep them. So if you don't want your deposit back, you can use it to buy the recordings and you're good to go. One thing I wanted to add, Michael, that I thought was really good, and I think this is one of the emphasis that you've been really pointing out lately, and one that I'm learning, which is why I'm pointing it out, is that when you come here to do what you're doing to help others, it's really to help you grow. The understanding of everything below it, everything that you're doing is really about you personally. And that's why dreams are so important, is they tell you the next step. They lay out a map for you. And it's like when you're trying to travel from California to New York, you don't want to know every road when you're in California. You want to know what the next road is. And then when you're at the end or towards the end of that next road, you want to know, where do I turn now? And that's where dreams come in, and they really, really are fabulous at giving you that next step and being in time for the next step. So you don't miss it and have to turn around and make a U-turn and go back and I missed that road. Nope. They will guide you on your way and do a recalculation, I believe is what they call it, recalculating your route if you step off the path and need to get back on. Anyways, I am so excited about this weekend coming up. Like I said, May 17th through the 19th, so put it on your calendars. More information will be coming out. And these 2 workshops that we've got coming, they're a free workshop for signing up for the event. And I'm really looking forward to some of the content. And we're going to leave some cliffhangers somewhat in each of the workshops that we'll complete on the weekend. What do you think of that, Michael?
Very good. Very good. And the workshops are at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays. So the 8th and 15th, we've 2 left. But if you sign up today, you get the recording of the one we did last week as well. And
the one last week was on career vocation, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, we're going to talk about karma and dharma and things like that on the weekend event too. You know, most of us here on the planet, 99% of us are on the karmic path. We wish we weren't, but we are. That's masculine energy, where you learn about yourself through experiences in the outside world. Like, you're not heart focused enough to find and follow meaning in your life. So the universe brings the meaning to you by slapping you in the face through external events. So you're learning about yourself through the 5 senses. That's really what karma is about. And one of the great themes that we see in dreams is that you can get onto the dharmic path, which is where you can become heart focused enough to leave karma behind and have a connection with the spirit world and know what you're meant to do. And so those type of things we will add in. But of course, really with a focus on dreams and how particular dreams point this out. All right.
Anyways, Michael,
we're going to do some dreams.
Yes, ready to do some dreams. All righty. Okay, so who owns what? And this is a dream from Cassie. Was going through this really wide countryside with a small group of people, and it seemed to be another time. I was pointing out who used to live in each of the houses we passed, and how the guy in the first house introduced me to all the other homeowners. As we rounded the bend, there was an absolutely beautiful field as wide as could be with a ranch on it. I mentioned who used to live there and who was there now. Then we passed a couple of other places as we got to the place we were heading. It was complicated on who owned what and who sold to whom, but I knew it all. There you go, Michael. Have fun with that.
It's a pretty straightforward dream. So you look at what's happening. She's going through the wide countryside, small group of people. So we know she's a spiritual leader because of the group of people that show up in that part of the dream. And again, it seemed to be another time. So she's able to look at people's past lives in groups. And she was pointing out who lived where, all the different houses and so on. So I know who people are in this lifetime. I know their connections. I know what they're meant to be doing. I like their simple mission of healing themselves, like we were talking about at the start of the show. That's why we come here. So this dreamer has the ability to be able to tell that about a person, not just, I know what you're meant to be doing here in this lifetime. It's, I know what you've done before, so I know how the thread of this lifetime ties in. And I know the influences of people on you, both good and bad, and what they are working through. So it's quite an interesting dream in that it shows, like I said, dreams put you at the center of the universe. And the center of her universe is this understanding of what people are meant to be doing in this lifetime. So she's a spiritual leader. She's meant to run small groups. And in those small groups, she's going to help people connect with themselves and who they were formerly.
And you got all of that from the houses?
Houses are a really good symbol for indicating your body. Houses and cars, they're the 2 most common symbols. And, you know, we are a soul in a body. We're a spirit in a physical structure, let's say. And so houses can represent the physical structure in dreams. And so as she's going through the countryside, pointing out all these houses, then she's pointing out Like you used to be this person, you used to be that person, and it's the connections. Really, the connections are the main thing. So yes, I did.
Wow, that was really cool. Short dream too, not too long. Alrighty, next one. Debating an autograph from Sophie. And this one sounds really interesting. I was shopping and was walking behind a very tall woman. We both peeked in a shop window and saw it wasn't open. I said I was bummed because I've been trying to get into it for a while. Then we walked into another shop, and suddenly there were a lot of women clustering around the tall woman, asking for her picture and autographs. I asked who she was, and someone said Caitlin Clark, an accomplished professional basketball player in the WNBA. I thought my niece Katie would love her autograph, so I got in the line for a moment, but got out and went into another store for a bit. Then I came back and noticed she was taking a group photo and not doing autographs anymore. Then I looked into the back of the room and noticed a lot of folks were seated at tables, long tables, like they were going to be a conference soon.
All right.
Alrighty.
So see the signature here? I said at the
Nope.
start that we're asked to sign, to commit to developing ourselves, to using our gifts. And so when we see this signature in this dream, we know that this dream is going to be about what she came here to do. And she gets out of the line. So she's not doing what she came here to do. If she'd have got up there and got that signature, that would have been great. But she's like, nah, I'm interested in other things. So let's take a look at it anyway from the start. I was shopping and walking behind a very tall woman. So the tall woman is a guide. We know she is anyway because she has a title and everybody knows her. She's a professional basketball player. So we know it's about spiritual career because basketball is black and orange. And the dream is saying, you need to pursue your spiritual career. And that's kind of what she's doing at the start because she's pursuing this woman who represents her spiritual career. And shopping is about needs. So again, that's what she needs to do. And then she gets to a store that wasn't open and she was bummed. Now, it's good that that wasn't open. I asked her what was in that store and she said furniture. And so furniture in dreams is about carrying other people's influences. Like, I'm going to get this period piece or it's going to get that piece or that belonged to my mom. I don't want to lose that. So it represents people's influences on you. And it's deliberately closed. And we understand why in a second. But she goes into the next room and there's a lot of people clustering around this other person and then looking for photographs and so on. So ultimately, it's saying she has to see herself as becoming the best at what she can do, recognize that she is number one in the field of what she does. Ultimately, she is to become the influencer. So
how do you get that?
Well,
Where's
channeling told me that, but we see it in the dream anyway because everybody is crowding around her. They want her autograph. They want to be near her. Like, she's the expert. Like, you're the best. I want to be around you because you're the best. And I want to get my picture taken with you because you're the best. So we see it in that context. So she has to push her game to the point where she's the influencer in her field. And that's a tall ask, but it really, now we see why the furniture store was closed, because if you're going to be the influencer, don't be taking on other people's influences. You're doing that too much. It's fine to take on influences. And indeed, in anything we do, anything we ever learn, we're going to learn it from somebody probably. And we're going to then develop our own style and add our own finesse to it. And then after many, many years of doing it, we become great at doing it. And we see shortcuts and methods of doing it that other people hadn't seen before us and so on. And we become the expert. So that's what she has to do. But a lot of the time, though, you will find that the gifts you already bring with you, they have this understanding in psychology that if you spend 10 years or 10,000 hours doing something, you'll become an expert at it. Now, there's a little bit of an adjustment in that. You have to be pushing yourself slightly out of your comfort zone for all of those hours. But sometimes we bring a gift with us that we're just so good at that if we step into it, we're already the expert. And we don't need all the training that would typically be required. But also, what's interesting too is if you ever look back at your life, people who are like this, they live their life in two halves. One part where they're very unaware of who they are spiritually, and then the next part where they are. And you will find that the first half has a lot of training grounds in it for who you're going to become. So if you're going to be an author, you'll find yourself writing technical manuals for a company, or it's that kind of thing. And then so at least the writing and the idea of putting a book together is not alien to you, and feels comfortable. Now what's different is you're going to put yourself on the page. So it's always true, and it is true for her too, that you look at your previous life, let's say, it really feeds into making the next part very easy for you.
All righty, so let's talk about shop windows.
So again, it's an enticement. Normally shop windows are an enticement. So shops are about addressing our needs. If we need something, we go to the shops to get it. Like I need flour, I need whatever. So shops are about needs, and shop windows are typically trying to entice you to investing in what it is you need to be doing. And so here we see she needs the enticing, because she gets out of the line. She was there, and she even had a reason. She said, I could do it for my niece, but she still doesn't do it. Kids are often used in a dream because we go through our own childhood and we say, I survived it. I don't care. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to heal. But then kids are brought in because it's like, they're a great motivator. It's like, well, okay, could you imagine if somebody had done for you what you can now do for your niece? How different her life would be, how great it would be. And so we go, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for her, even though we wouldn't do it for me. So we see all of that in that little bit of the dream. And then we see the her part wins because she gets out of the line. I wouldn't do it for me, so she doesn't do it in the end.
And then we've got pictures and an autograph. So, and when she comes back, it's only group photos. So what's going on with those two?
So she's meant to work in the spiritual field as a spiritual leader and be the influencer in her field. And that's what the group is about, being spiritual leadership, same as the last dream. Groups are a really common way for a dream to say that you're meant to work with groups. Take people in a group from where they are to where they need to go. So you're going to do group work in a spiritual leadership way.
Yeah, but then, we've got pictures and then autographs.
It's fame. So it's like you have to get to the point of people looking up to you.
Got it. That's cool. And then we've got a long table.
Yeah, long tables. And if you search back through any of our archive, you'll see we say the same thing for all of these symbols. A long table is about sharing. So this is something you need to share. Share your influencer status with the world. Like get to that point where you're the influencer, and then just sit in that limelight and help people with the way you're able to do it. That is uniquely you. You're number one.
That's awesome. All righty. Let's move on. Our next
You know what?
is
We should say the link again. I only said it once. It's dream-analysis.com/free. That will take you to the page to read about our summit and register for it.
Yeah, because I love this. Like that last dream that had basketball, that's perfect for career. I spent lots of time looking for dreams that would fit into the categories so it can show the examples, because my goodness, over the years, we've had some phenomenal dreams about so many different subjects that are really just amazing. The gifts and the talents that people have. And some of them they know, and some of them they're like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that one. But I love the fact that the dreams pointed out. Now, let's dive into the next dream because it looks good. So this one is Todd pays for dinner, and it's from Alice. Was at a dinner, and there were several of us there. It was for business, and my brother Todd was there too. Todd is my next in line sibling. He looks out for me and helps with a lot with my dad. He always makes sure I'm invited to all events and encourages me to come. He's the most playful of the siblings. I like the way Todd sounds. When it comes time to pay for dinner, I noticed I didn't have my credit card, and I knew it could be written off as a business expense. So I flipped through my cards in my wallet, but none were the credit cards. So I asked Todd if he'd pay, and he did. I needed to get the receipt from him so I could get reimbursed. So he gave me his wallet, and I found the receipt and made a copy. Then I was trying to figure out how to get Todd his wallet back to him as he worked in a different location. I was going to give it to someone to send to him in her company, but I thought that wasn't the best idea. I thought I should just hand it to him. All righty, Michael, that's an interesting dream.
So this dream is really pretty simple. She doesn't allow people to reciprocate. She is very much a giver. Alice is a giver. She always looks for ways to help other people. But then, and she also convinces herself that she's not really given as much as it looks like, because if you look at the dream, she's going to claim it as a business expense. So if you claim a dinner as a business expense, you're going to get a portion of it back on tax. So it's like, it's not as expensive for me to pay for it as it would be for you to pay for it, so I'm going to do it. So she very much gives and helps other people, but she doesn't allow other people to reciprocate, and this causes her to miss out on opportunities. And that's really what the dream is about. It's one of those dreams where you look at the theme of the dream rather than anything else. But I know you're going to have questions.
What's the theme?
That she wouldn't just let her brother pay for her meal.
Oh, she had to reimburse him.
She didn't have to. She wanted to. He was okay.
That's true. And what about taking his wallet and then having to mail it to him? What's going on with that?
This is the pain she puts herself through, rather than just saying it's okay, because she's got all of this hassle now because she didn't just let Todd pay for it, and he was happy to pay for it. And she even says that's his nature. He's super good, super supportive, and all that sort of stuff. And so he's not going to say, hey, I paid for your meal, where's the money? This is her putting this on herself after the event.
And then the missing the credit card that she needed to buy stuff with. What's up with that?
It's a situation where she's kind of deliberately in the dream put into a place where she has to ask somebody else to help her. And she likes to be the helper. So she doesn't like the fact that this has happened at all.
Yes, I could see that. And then giving it through mail. What the heck?
This is just a convoluted way that she's looking for to reimburse or to make sure she doesn't get help from somebody. It's so complicated. At no point does she just go, oh, you know what? I'll just accept that he paid for it.
That is true. She does not do that. Oh, very interesting, Michael. That was good. Okay, I want to move on to the next dream.
No, you don't, because we're out of time.
No way. Oh, no. Okay, we'll have to cover it next time because it looks good.
Well, you can talk about our event again.
Yes.
You do a good job.
I am so excited about it. This has been several years in the making. I've been after Michael to come up with a way for us to show really how dreams are the map of our lives. And the information that he's gotten from dreams, like I said, some of the gifts that people have that have shown up in their dreams, it's like, wow, he has been able to put together such a fabulous picture of really where we came from, the spirit world, why we are here, because it's all shown in dreams. And then what is our next steps? It doesn't show you the end game because there is no end game. It's a continuous journey always, but it does show the next step and the next step and the next step. And that is what blows me away. And just like Michael and everybody I know, we all listen to what our dreams are saying and try to follow them really closely, because when you channeling is fabulous, but you got to have a roadmap. It's like having a really powerful tool, but you don't know where you're at to ask, where do you go? And that's where dreams come in and give you that roadmap, or actually give you the path. They show you the map, and then it's up to you to choose the route. And that's where channeling comes in and really helps. So we're going to cover even a little bit of channeling on this weekend. And so far, everybody who has made it through our channeling program has been successful. So you'll get to hear a little bit of that. And the interesting thing is you might be able to see Michael do a little bit of channeling through the weekend as he interprets dreams, because that is part of what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we have plenty of time for people to bring their dreams in and ask questions. And he will take time to try to go through as many dreams as possible and give the analysis so people have a good understanding where they're at and where they need to go. And that part is exciting. That's what gets me going. And yeah, Michael, I'm one of those people that the first half of my life, I was in corporate. I worked into management, and it was a lovely journey of learning, 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 growth, learning, learning, growth. Yes. And now I'm now come into being able to work in this field with you, and it is, oh my God, is far better than I could have ever imagined. So thank you. Anyways, that's all I have to say.
That's great. And if you want to come to that, it's dream-analysis.com/free. We do ask for a refundable deposit. You get it back. And the, I was going to say, so I'm going to say it. If you find offense at the refundable deposit, you might be one of the people we want to keep out. But it's a joke. It's a joke. But if you sign up for it, you'll also get an email telling you about our free dream clinic tomorrow, which is at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We do it the first Tuesday of every month. So it happens tomorrow. All right. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.